Mad Lions DM'd Hillisang and were all like, hey bestie, I know your last team was like seriously problematic. Want to come play for us? And good on them. They shot their shot. So Hilly agreed and said, Fnatic and I, we are never getting back together. Like, ever.
Well, SK, they surprised everyone, and I respect the hustle. They're new players. They wanted to be excluded from this SK sucks narrative. They finished 4th in spring, and it's doing something with all the rookies for me.
And good on them for upcycling old talent. Meanwhile, Fnatic came crawling back into this weird situationship with Reckless. They ignored all the red flags. Like, he literally left you for your worst enemy.
Toxic!
Why are you so obsessed with him, Fnatic?
Crazy. Fnatic, they didn't want the smoke after finishing 9th, so they started pointing fingers. Rux and Wonder got benched, and everyone was like, dramatic. Oof. Well, you just benched Wonder. Their new top Oscarinen has just been getting unalived over and over again in game. It is rough out there for the rookie.
BDS caught a lot of fade with their rookies last year too, but then they unveiled a roster that was giving LFL super team. Oof. They ended up serving on the Rift and with their team rivals. They even had a fan booth.
Yeah, say less. I'm literally a super fan now. They're the best.
Oh, they're not that good.
They're good. Can you stop gaslighting me?
Just objectively, I mean, they're not like
gatekeeping is so not cool.
No, I'm not gatekeeping. I'm not.
Hot girls don't gatekeep.
Okay, well then Astralis aren't hot girls then, because Fnatic and XL were down horrific for top 8, and Astralis wouldn't let them in. Finn was all like, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And then he and Astralis slayed everyone during their miracle run.
Everyone. XL, they really thought they were doing something with this roster, but the only thing they were doing was getting 10th place. Unsubscribe.
G2 reunited BFFs Hansam and Mickey X in the bot lane and popped off. Hans just kept picking Draven and was literally securing the bag every time he got a kill. Yike was ratioing veteran junglers, and Caps was flexing in-game and in draft. They got that dub at Winter Finals 3-0.
Yeah, and then after Jankos, he got dropped from G2, and this team Heretics pulls up and are like, don't worry, we got you, bro. And they totally sign him. Jankos, he spent years on G2 being second fiddle, a sidekick, but right now, he's really the main character as he was in Winter.
That's so true, bestie. Now, Vitality were seriously pressed after failing last year with the super team, and then out of pocket, they get boated jungle for him. Like, seriously, he was just in their pocket. He was being chilling in Europe for most of last year, and then Photon joined as a top laner, and compared to him, every other top laner in the league was caught lacking.
Yeah, they finished best of ones in first place, but they clearly girl bossed a little too close to the sun. They fluked out of groups, but they immediately dropped stacks of cash to sign Upset, who'd been sitting on Fnatic's bench all winter. Like, make it make sense, Fnatic. Talk about fumbling the bag.
So anyways, Vitality and G2 are like totally our best teams now, and they play each other tomorrow in our match of the week.
Any questions?
I think it's a surprise of nobody. My matchup of the week, my favorite matchups.
G2 versus Vitality.
G2 versus Vitality.
G2 versus Vitality.
G2 versus Vitality. There's just too many stars in this matchup to be excited about for it to be any other game.
Vitality coming in with the best start they could have imagined with their new roster.
The AD carry rivalry returns after a year hiatus with Hansama piecing out to NA. Now he's back, Upset after Winter Split absent. He's on the Rift 2 and looking fantastic after his first couple of games here with Vitality.
Last split, Hansama was by far the best AD carry we had in the league, but back then Upset wasn't there. Now he is, and I want to see these two giants clash it out on the Rift.
You got Yike going against Bo who came in with these huge expectations on his shoulders, going up against Yike, who of course had to replace Jankos, but also didn't have the same pedigree, didn't have the same kind of scary solo queue reputation, but has since won a split, is looking good, and is looking to further cement himself as a top jungler in the league.
Mid lane, it's Caps versus Perks. Can't say anything more about that hasn't been said already.
Brothers in arms, one MSI together. Best of one will determine the overreactions. Who's going to win Worlds, who's going to win the LEC, who's going to win MSI.
It's awesome all across the board. It's G2 Vitality.
Hello, besties, and welcome everyone to week 2 of the LEC
Hey, besties.
2023 Spring Split live from Berlin, Germany. The sun is shining, the weather is nice. Usually when you talk about it in Berlin, then it starts hailing.
Why are you
instantly.
saying anything?
I anti-jinxed the weather. That's what I did. Taxi's arriving as well. Astralis, of course, and the Mad Lions are entering the studio for our first game of the day. My name is Shox, and I'm joined by Ender and very special bestie, extra guest, Treats this weekend. It's been a while. Welcome, Eric.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been since Malmö, right? The last time I was on the desk, so excited to be back for some fun games with you guys.
I thought we only had you then because you're the only one who can pronounce Malmö, but I think you're useful.
Wait, can I try?
Yeah.
Malmö.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well.
No, I think that was pretty decent.
Eric, I know you've been making a lot of content, and it's been awesome to see, but maybe not everyone is as familiar with your opinions about the LEC, so we sourced some tweets from Ping the Lobby on Twitter, and the first one is from Winter's Ward, saying, which LEC team has surprised you the most this year?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, thinking of the entire year, I guess maybe Vitality now, coming in with the upset. I think they were looking to have the same performance in winter, and now in spring they've just been going up and up. So probably Vitality, I would say, yeah.
That's a good one. I think it was probably fishing for the BDS with their Smurf content and everything. I know Nick is hanging out over at the
He
BDS
sent the
fan
tweet,
booth.
actually.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I'm saying. He was looking for it, but you weren't going to give him that. It's so sad.
What have been your impressions overall of the new system, the new season setup, and the fact that things seem to be going so incredibly fast?
Yeah, the format is very cutthroat. Obviously, it feels like if you have one bad week, you can kind of just be out of the playoff contention immediately. So it's very scary for the teams, and they kind of feel like every game matters, which makes the viewing experience really good too.
It does. The Mad Lions also sent in a tweet. What is the best treat? I bet you never heard that one before.
I haven't, no, definitely.
You're at the LEC. There's only one right answer.
Yeah, I mean, apart from Kit Kat, I think
That was the right answer.
I wish I could say something like surströmming or some Swedish thing, but maybe like a nice cupcake, something like this. Yeah. Pretty nice.
No.
Caitlin would agree.
Yeah, true.
I'm like savory over sweet for snacks, personally.
I can go either way.
Same.
Cool. So, as we said already, things are going really fast. And after week 1, we've decided to have a look at some of the players' performances and give our verdict if they are Giga Chad or Giga Sag. So, let's start with the positive. Who have been the Chads?
The Chads, let's start in the jungle with Jankos, absolute machine for Team Heretics. And I cannot say enough how impressed I've been, not just this week 1 last week, but also throughout winter. Jankos has been consistently able to find early game advantages. A lot of that has been punishing when his lanes have pushing waves, setting up for turret dives. He's always finding angles in the early game to set his team ahead.
Yeah, and then from the early game as well, I feel like his team fighting has been really good. So it does feel like he's kind of playing his screen correct, but his teammates are not pulling that much weight themselves. So he's been a big Giga Chad so far for sure.
And Treats, you used to jungle back in the day as well. And you can probably say a couple of words about the fact that if you're playing well as a jungler, but everything is falling apart around you, how difficult that must be.
Yeah, I mean, the jungler's job is kind of to secure the early game, and I think he's doing a fantastic job of that. And if his carries aren't carrying in fights, then there's not so much more he can do, right?
I would also say that the transition from G2 having Caps a mid laner that's always roaming around, now Ruby much more lane locked mid laner. Jankos has to do a lot more on his own, finding those angles. So it's been fantastic to see him sort of step into his own, training wheels off, and this guy's been an absolute beast.
I mean, he's insane. He's timeless. He's a class act, and he's always going to perform. But we need to hope that Team Heretics as a whole can perform better as well. Speaking of a class act, Upset came back, Treats, last week, finally, and he's breaking records already.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew that he was good, right? It was kind of just like, how good was he gonna be? He showed that he's pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, I mean, no surprises here that he's already in conversation, I think. Hansama and Mickey were the reigning best bot lane last split. Now he's like, yeah, I put my name on the list. That's going to be an amazing matchup to see unfold. This has always been a player that's super, super versatile, right? He can play the lane dominant AD carries, to pound you in the 2v2, but also super reliable in the late game team fights as well. It is almost impossible to find someone that can do everything as good as he can.
How is he slotted into Vitality? Seamless, it seems like, right? Okay, they have great laners, but they didn't miss a beat whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it was very clear the role he was looking to fill with Neon stepping out, obviously. And I think that with the versatility that you speak of, Ender, as well, it's kind of like, what can he not do, right? You can play towards him. He can also just farm and carry team fights later. So the versatility and obviously his experience as well is just making the team look so much scarier.
It's working really well. Another jungler, Markoon, is doing phenomenally. I think SK overall is doing very, very well. And